Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are just about ready to go back into Heaven on High. Woohoo! Actually, no. House of the Dead. My solo runs in Heaven on High. That's it. Yeah.
Hey, Doodles.
Hello, Doodles. I am full of dinner and kind of bursting at the gills. I think I ate too much. Had a delicious salmon chunk. And oh yeah, my stomach kind of hurts. So what floor did we leave off on? 141?
90.
Oh, 90. Oh, we're a lot lower than I thought we were.
Yeah, we would have gotten to 100, but we had technical issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't your fault.
It is what it is, Rye.
It was Eos's fault.
It is annoying.
Everyone knows that.
Oh, Taylin, you're party leader.
I am? Oh, yes, I am.
Because I got bounced offline earlier.
I'll make
Oopsies.
sure not to let the power go to my head.
Unlike Eevee.
Oh god. Witching and resolution.
Resolution.
Solved. Go forth and kill them.
Trap.
What kind of trap?
Enfeebling.
Ow.
And
Great,
Nothing
coming in.
trap.
come over here, Wraith. I want to be your friend.
Really?
Found the exit.
I don't know that. Hey, see, you also went
Anything in the exit room?
Other than a couple of mobs now.
Well, yeah, I meant to open up the exit.
Yeah, a couple enemies.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, so just open. Yes.
Hello, Battle Axe!
Hey, Battle Axe.
So how was Baron's stream?
Pretty good. And from, I was watching too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
A lot of villains.
It was Villains Night.
Pretty much.
Well, it was supposed to be like spies and such, but
Steel.
Stealing!
Hey, Ari. Hey, Aki. Hey, Buckfire. All the regulars.
beats none of the regulars.
Also, have to
Yeah,
keep in mind there's
very
Bloom
true.
currently.
Security. Hopefully that won't be needed.
Hello, Octi!
Still getting used to
Witching.
seeing damage type tags on
On
all
what?
the damage I do.
Ah. That's right, one of the things they've added is a little icon to denote whether the incoming damage or outgoing damage. I like safety. Safety is good. Is magic, physical, or special?
What's the symbol for special?
It's a yellow starburst.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah, that would be.
With that, it's already running. It's
Oh, frick,
Mimic.
you gotta be kidding me.
add it to the counter. First mimic of the night. Flaming axe guitar.
Hold
At
on.
least it was not Mimicception.
I have not seen Mimicception for a while, and I've probably just cursed us for that, using that phrase.
Yeah, it has been quite a while. We did have one.
Yeah, I think we had one within the last couple of times.
Yeah, but just that one, and it's like the only one we've seen in ages.
And it didn't spawn multiples.
Yeah, it just spawned an extra one.
Yeah. How deep is your Mimicception on?
6.
Yeah.
And it was like on an 80 floor in Heaven on High.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Pitching.
Exit here.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to Fry earlier at dinner that because this run we're actually more interested in Horde than we are in actually clearing the floors. If we get Horde,
For the drop.
we are more interested in running to that than just going up the floor set.
Well, rushing to 150, then worrying
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Yes. Very true.
I missed my cone. I want my cone back.
Cone of shaming the enemy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Raid. Nice to meet you.
There we go.
Oh, we're out.
I didn't see you there. Sorry.
Yes.
I know in WoW early on for like just a Halloween season, you could actually get for warriors a two-handed axe that was a guitar.
Yes.
That kind of hurts.
I remember that.
Exit open.
That way. Strength. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh that.
You do said thing.
Let's go.
Well, it seems to be like board game day or something since I've seen two separate people.
Deal.
Sure, I'll do a refresh.
And rage.
Okay, I'm setting up for rage.
You do this. Because I've seen like
Yar!
two people on Twitter today ask, what like got you into board gaming or something like that. And I have to say, when George Takai asks what your favorite board game is, the only thing I can answer is Starfleet Battles.
Exit open.
Yes, it is open. Purity, don't need.
seconds.
Go get them.
Oh
You
no,
can
not
get
back.
at least one of the.
Oh, oh well. I'll bounce out. 6 seconds.
Yeah. Got one of them. Hay has the other. Very good.
There was a copper in the previous room.
Good.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Just to avoid Gobu snot, if nothing else.
Well, here. And now.
Just
Another
Rage.
rage. Not helpful.
well,
No, strength.
go.
Right,
That's
straight.
right.
Give me a moment. Done.
Get to the exit, pop it, and then I'll run.
First, we have to find the exit. Oh no.
Of course, it's a
Ow.
war.
Yeah, with like 3 different Dark Dragons doing OBA.
Yeah, just come here, Kay. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
One thing, we'll need your fire support for the rest of this.
Alright. My way.
Watch the OBA. Like that.
A lot of Dark Dragons.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, how I know this.
Crap. No.
There's the exit.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Phoenix down. Not like I need it.
No, it's your res and ability.
No, it's a spell.
Okay.
Lost. So an article came out from The Gamer yesterday saying that, oh no, there's no new expansions planned for FF14. It's like, dude, you are being so clickbaity. Everyone knows the next Hello! Next expansion is coming out next year.
And the next one 2 years from there, and so on and so forth until Yoshi dies.
Of course it does.
Basically,
I mean, you
guys.
just can't release new expansions for FF14 if you. Yep. If you can't have Sukin occasionally doing bad renditions of blocking.
The gift that keeps on giving. Okay, let's see if we can
A
find
couple of patrols coming in. Yeah, it seems to be the expansion rule is usually about 1 every 2 years.
Yep.
And they are like clockwork. The Endwalker was delayed slightly due to the dumpster fire that was 2020, combined with had like 30% more content than they thought they did.
Mhm.
Oh, oops. Did they do a Might and Magic 6?
Yes. Oh, hello, Mr. Dragon. Bye, Mr.
Bye.
Dragon.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Might and Magic series is a classic
Board this
series
floor.
of computer role-playing games.
Rage.
Yes, I'm raging now. Hello, Mr. Patroller.
Please do.
Hello, Mr. Patroller.
Hi, Mr. Controller.
Hello, Mr. Dragon. Hello, Palace Knight.
But
There's a
Might
chest
and
back
Magic's-
here if you care.
Yes, there is. Safety.
Hello, Mr. Gobu.
Safety.
Yep. And steel.
I've got
She's
41
cool.
seconds, but I'm kind of busy at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, we did find the exit.
There's Horde this floor.
Oh, right.
Now, when you're no longer busy and no longer a Manticore.
No, not there.
Ah, there's the Horde. I've uncovered Horde if someone wants to pick it up. I might as well.
Strength.
Ooh, is that an alteration? Yes, it was. Yeah,
And
steel.
Yeah. Take your steel.
I'll take it. Nope,
Steel.
that was a strength.
Oh, I've already got the steel, so.
Well, no, I accidentally hit strength again. So we're down a
both of
strength.
them somehow. Waking up.
Oh, we're down a steel.
We're down both.
Yeah, because I used the steel and then Tay said he'll take it and then used the steel. And then Rai picked it up, so we're down to 2 steals.
At the moment, it doesn't matter too much.
This is me totally not being worried.
Yes. But, so Might and Magic 6 came out mid-90s, around
Surprise.
the same time as Final Fantasy VII. And Final Fantasy VII kind of stayed early on console. Might and Magic 6 did it, and did pretty much the same job on PC. Now, one of the things is it was a long game. Certainly got your money. As it turned out, this is not a Gravekeeper in the area. Okay, yeah.
We've got 2 Gravekeepers and a dragon on me.
Yeah. Trying to point out the third, the second Gravekeeper.
That's it.
Should be.
And there it is.
And a Grimont. It turned out that when they were developing Might and Magic 6, they tested everything fairly thoroughly. Made sure, all the zones worked, all the quests worked, all of that. The one thing they never really did was have somebody go through all of the game and play it together.
Oops.
And the game ended up with basically twice as much content or really twice as much length as they intended.
Yeah, it was a
Why
long
such a
game.
long game it was twice as big as they intended it to be. Did very well for them.
Yes, yes. It
Seems to
really
be rather
floated
full.
3DO during that time period. Because I was actually working at the company during that. We actually, a year to 2 years later, we're actually getting letters to the company thanking us for such an awesome game and how they just now finally beat it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a big game.
I've had difficulty with the series, but maybe I'm just not patient or just not understanding certain parts.
It depends on which
game
you're talking about.
Yeah, I think the one I played the most was 3.
Okay. Yeah, part of
Now,
the
is that
problem
Might
is-
and Magic or Heroes or Crusader? Because they're all different styles of game.
I think it was
Well-
Heroes of Might and Magic.
Okay. That's a strategic game.
Yeah, Heroes of Might
Yeah,
and Magic.
that was one of the neat things as they went on, is they basically started doing different titles in the same universe, handling it from, different perspectives, basically.
I'll use it on the next round.
Okay. I was gonna say, we're gonna need it soon. Yeah, like these guys. There we go. Thank you, Knight. Stop interrupting or geeking out over different computer games.
What's funny is that one of the things with Might and Magic is, of course, you're dealing with a whole party. And they designed it to
It's a
kind of
classic
run
RPG series.
first-person shooter style.
Which was something they started in 6.
Now,
The series is old enough that the early ones were basically text with very basic graphics.
Now, they were expecting everyone to play it this way, and when I told them I beat the game entirely in developer mode, which was turn-based, they looked at me kind of funny as, why should we leave that in? I was like, that was the only way I could play it. I couldn't play it this third-person thing that you're talking about.
It was
And they're like,
way too
really?
fast.
You actually played the entire thing turn-based? And I'm like, yeah, it was fun that way.
Well, all the combat.
And afterwards, they're like, you're the only one we know of who actually played it this way. Is there anything you'd change? I'm like, yeah. Could we have a round where we could have movement? Because what would happen is you'd go into turn-based and you couldn't move from your position. You just had all your abilities. So everything would slowly gang up on you like this giant horde. And zerg you, and you would effectively corner you. So next game they put out, sure enough, there was a turn where you could do movement. And I was like, thank you.
Yes. And anyone who played Might and Magic 7 and played it that way and liked the fact that they added that little tweak, you're listening to the person to thank.
Dance.
Already on.
Thank you.
By the way, this is the exit room.
The original Might and Magic is, like mid-80s. So
Yeah,
it
it's an old
dates the era. Yeah, it dates the era of Wizardry and Ultima and things like that.
Ancient history.
Yeah. And 6 was where they redid the engine a bunch after something of a pause, and kind of, graphically speaking, it had a lot more to do on top of it, which is why, but graphically and everything, think original Doom.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're open.
crap. Bad Ruby, no. And I just disconnected.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Oh no. I'm gonna check this chest while we're waiting for Kate to come
Hopefully
back.
you have less of a struggle getting back on than I do.
Rye, could you sit on this?
Oh, is it a rage?
It's a rage.
Yes, it is a rage.
But we'll wait for
I will
Kaylin to come
happily
back.
put on that. Yep.
It's not like you're going anywhere without me.
And we've generally been doing these places in enough time that it's not an issue.
Nah.
So, that's the origins of Might and Magic. In the later days, what New World was doing is they were doing
There we go.
series. Now we'll get the rage. So Might and Magic was the RPGs. Heroes of Might and Magic was the strategy game.
It was the strategy, yeah.
Crusaders of Might and Magic was the first-person shooter. And was horrible.
Actually, it was a third-person shooter.
Was?
Fair enough.
Yep. And there was actually an MMO, Raging, that was based on the engine that we wrote for Requiem.
I seem to
Well,
remember
that's what
that.
Crusaders is using also.
I believe so, yeah.
Which is why the reviews were generally, it's a horrible game, but the 3D engine it's running on is really nice. Because there's a fixed-up version of Requiem's.
Yeah, the guys on Requiem purposely wrote the engine to be a general engine that the company could use across the board. They originally were thinking about licensing it out similar to Unreal, but the problem is that Helmut went and ripped apart the development team so badly that Helmut ripped apart development team. Marketing didn't know what to do with it. We were bleeding people left and right. You can see how it went. Oh, exit's open.
Yes. Oh, right, it exits that way.
Vulnerability up.
This is a strength.
Strength. Okay, that's refresh.
Oh. That was some reload. Force of habit. I'm tired. Bite me.
It's okay. This is more of a fun run for loot than anything else. Ooh, sight! We're gonna use that.
There's the reload for strength.
Goblin Adventure. BOC there?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine.
I just wanted to make sure our team didn't need it. Because I'm just looking at that health bar going,
Yeah. Part of the problem 3DO had is that, one, they had Helmut. Helmut wanted to have like a AAA team, game team, and kept sticking his fingers in the pie in all the wrong ways.
Strength yourself, Rye. That is actually a spare.
Okay.
And Trip was more interested in making small little mobile games. Think Candy Crush.
Yeah, if he could have done something like that, he totally would have.
The problem is he
yet,
kept
the technology
hiring
wasn't
like
there.
people who wanted to make the next Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we almost did it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I honestly think the only reason why Requiem failed as bad as it did is
Half-Life.
because Helmet pulled a stupid maneuver that made us come out a month after. Ow, that was an explosion.
A month after Half-Life. Yeah.
A month after Half-Life instead of a month before Half-Life.
That was stupid.
And while I still think that Half-Life would have eaten our lunch,
You would have
You
had
at
a
least
better
would've-
chance.
we would
Well,
have had.
you would have gotten the initial impression of being the best thing out there for a month.
Yeah, we would have had that month of sales.
Well,
That we
just
did.
a month of name recognition.
That
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Because I was
That would be
reading some of
very
the,
important long term.
I was reading some of the GOG reviews of it, and there were a lot of comments along the path of it's like this could have been so good. Mimics,
Room full of
No,
mimics.
can never be
room
so
full of
good.
mimics. I'm actually gonna potentially, actually buy it, download, and play it. I haven't gotten around to it.
Requiem?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
It had some good ideas, but there were a lot of instances of we're going to do this despite our leadership, not because of our leadership.
Yeah.
The thing went through 5 different directors.
Oh, jeez. No wonder you had problems.
At least 3 different art leads. It was a mess. I'm amazed we got as good of a game as we did, all things considered. And a lot of it, the reason why people kept
I'll
leaving
use that.
was because of Helmut.
Of course. As they say, you don't leave bad jobs, you leave bad managers.
That's exactly what happened.
One goblin.
2 Goblin Adventures. Yeah.
No goblin adventurers.
One of the best stories I could think about was, we had this one lady for animation. She did a phenomenal job. She was worth 10 of me when it came to animation. And Helmut comes into her desk and basically starts acting out how he wants the scene animated. And she's sitting on this high chair because she had her desk raised to be standing height, and then a stool chair installed so that when she wanted to take a break she had a place to sit, but she could actually stand and work, which was really cool. Our desk cubicles were totally able to do that. So he's sitting there acting the entire scene out on the floor below her, and And she's just looking down her nose and lets him go through his entire routine that goes on for almost 10 minutes. And he's like, so, think you can do that? She just looks him flat-faced. I've already turned in all the animation and it was approved an hour ago. And then turned back to her desk. It was classic. But she really did know her stuff, and she'd been in the animation game, both for video games and Hollywood, for ages. I miss her. She was wonderful to work with.
It's always nice having good coworkers.
It seriously saved my bacon, because the last art director we got in was someone hired by Helmut to try and axe me.
Ooh.
And the only reason why it didn't succeed is because the entire art team actually stood up for me. And many of the programmers as well.
And it speaks to how just bad management was.
Yeah. Yeah. It was horrible.
That's unfortunate because 3DO did some pretty nice games.
More despite themselves than anything else.
It was a case of... Yeah.
Because a lot of the good stuff they did was really by the studios.
Yeah, it was
Like the
either
Might
by
and
New
Magic
World...
and all of that was New World.
And Cyclone honestly tried. There was a lot of passion there and dedication, and people wanted to make a good games, but there was a lot of hamstringing too.
Yep.
And a lot
of
of
course-
the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then of course we can't talk about how badly 3DO screwed up without talking about the Doom port. Holy shit.
I had not heard about this one.
No.
Basically, it was very, very badly mishandled. I
Hey,
can't-
strength.
got it. I'd actually have to look at the video again that I was watching, but I can't remember if the 3DO was when Carmack got involved and said, no, you can't do this, and then they had to basically do it differently. I don't know. I think that might have been the Sega Saturn version. Oh, passage is open. But there was something with the 3DO version that...
You're talking about the 3DO system, which it was already
Yes.
defunct by the time I was hired.
Yeah. I think this probably would have been before your time. What was it? Basically, I think it was between 3DO and id. There were miscommunications, there was bad management, and the game was crap as a result.
I am not surprised. There's a lot of that.
It comes with the age-old joke. Can it run Doom?
Yeah.
Okay. The joke used to be, but can it run Crisis for the high end? Now it's can it run Doom for the low end.
Do an alteration.
Alteration! Sorry, my
No.
my
problem.
hands were full with an axe.
Usually
Strength,
I click.
Rye.
That's right.
Ah,
Yeah, Daikatana is envious.
Romero, where did you go wrong?
Well, I can tell you what we're wrong with Daikatana. They restarted the game 3 times
That probably did not help.
with different teams.
and just think, it is no longer the record holder for most mismanaged game that eventually released.
Steel.
Yes.
That'd be Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah. Duke Nukem Forever now officially holds the title that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Alright.
Speaking of what nobody wants,
We got a Hornet in here.
no, we don't.
My
I may have disconnected.
yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
oh, okay.
To give you a good example of mismanagement when we were doing Requiem, the final boss that you actually get in the game is not the final boss that we were working with until about
Yeah.
2/3 of the way through the game. And the reason for that is Helmut had us do the final boss as the demo level.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was the demo level. Now realize we had levels 1 and 2 ready for demo, completely built out and tested and ready to go to press when he
Rage.
pulled this.
Ouch.
Raging. Oh, hello, Mr. Toad
Oh,
Trap.
nice.
That doesn't count.
Nice shot there.
So we had all that ready to go. Oh, room of pig boys! I'm going to semi-skip the room so you guys can have fun.
Passage is open.
So instead, he had us do this demo level of the final boss. So we had to rewrite the entire story to add in a new boss, so he could be the final boss. And it was
Yeah.
the one thing we were actually trying to avoid. I don't want to say more than that because I don't want to necessarily spoil it for you. My basic opinion of the game that I worked on is that you will have fun playing it, but it'll be kind of like, that was nice. Next game! But it is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I don't remember any major bugs that shipped with it. Where's Tay?
I'm here.
Okay.
I
I
hope.
didn't want to start without you.
So far, so good.
Having spikes for some reason.
We're talking roughly about 3DO in general, but the game that I actually worked on, which was Requiem Avenging Angel, cough cough. Wrath of the Fallen. Wrath of the Fallen was the original name, and at the last minute they decided to change the name because they thought it was more marketable.
Yeah.
Apparently we don't know
No, it wasn't.
enough marketing.
There was a lot of really good, passionate people who worked on that game. But yeah, it was mismanaged, and the old mismanagement was done by one person, and the player and a lot of the team bled talent like you wouldn't believe because of it. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad all my effort did not suck. The sad part is that as a team, our team development was actually really unified, and we really loved working with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that actually saved the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That will save a lot of things.
Oh, Mimic! Mimic! Live's doing?
Hey, Live.
Also, stamps.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. The mimic kind of threw me. Sorry.
You didn't notice I was the one taking the mimic?
No! I'm sorry.
Also, don't forget to put it on the counter.
Already did.
Oh, the mimic, yeah.
We were actually, before Cyclone was sucked into
That's yours.
3DO, because they had to give Helmut a golden parachute.
Of course.
Yeah.
That was a disaster.
Now, in that case, I can see why it was somewhat unavoidable since the studio had been created for him. So getting rid of him as head of the studio.
But we were actually in the starting talk development of a Requiem 2, but it was traded out in favor of Crusaders of Might and Magic. Oh no, more skeletons.
Yes, that was like the headline on one of
the reviews
One
for
of the,
Crusaders of
reviews.
Might and Magic.
it was what? More skeletons? And there's an interesting review because that's the one I was kind of talking about earlier where they say, yeah, this is a crap game, but you know, once you're playing it a little bit and you look at what's going on, this is a really nice engine.
Yep, that was the Requiem
The
engine
Requiem
that...
but they had no way of knowing that themselves.
Yeah, the guys that on the programming end of it did a beautiful job. The only thing that didn't get added in because they couldn't quite get it to work is one of the programmers spent a lot of time actually trying to work on a good mob AI system. And he almost got it to work. He just couldn't do it within the time frame, so it got
Ah,
ixed.
that sucks.
Only do so much. Yeah.
I found the exit.
Okay.
I believe the property is now owned by this Russian development team because it got...
They have heroes.
Yeah, I think it's a different group
renamed
that
from
owns
Heroes.
Requiem.
Yeah, various pieces of New World have gone various places. There's one Russian studio that has Heroes of Might and Magic, or as they've renamed it since, Might and Magic Heroes. I think it's on either 7th or 8th now. 4 was the last one. New World Dead. King's Bounty, which was the game that was kind of the prototype for Heroes of Might and Magic, is with a different Russian studio.
A lot of it got sold off to
Like
effectively a Russian clearinghouse for games.
Yeah. And I played like Heroes 5 and the first of the newer King's Bounty. And I have to say, the studio that did King's Bounty did the best job. I know Mark has been playing, I think, 7 lately. I need to ask him what he thinks of it. I've played at least some of all of the first 4. 4 got a lot of bad reviews at the time. Good reason. Saying years later, I had to agree with one guy's thing I saw, which was basically it was a bundle of good ideas that needed to be developed into a more coherent game. Yeah, they changed how pieces of it worked somewhat drastically, and there were some interesting things going on.
Oops, wrong one.
They didn't think it through. Exit is open. You can get combat.
Every now and then I look at the Unreal Engine and have some game designs, but I never quite do enough with it. The main two we keep bouncing back and forth with is a little kind of third-person hack and slash game dealing with one of my unpublished character ideas in a basically fantasy world, female character. This is later in her life. She is actually technically kick-ass, except that at the beginning of the game she starts with absolutely no weaponry whatsoever.
Her fists are all HTVs.
Actually, she starts out with a bow staff, which she...
More than enough. I know what her strength rating would have to be.
Yeah, she starts out with a bow staff, which effectively was her husband's staff that she borrowed.
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 Okay.
But the... Oh!
I got too close.
The basic idea behind it is she's just hacking her way through this series of encounters, trying to reclaim her kidnapped children.
Go ahead and use security.
Yeah, once the fight is over.
Well, yeah.
Did you guys get Mimic?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
add it to the counter.
not a real.
Oh, no, wait. Never mind. Don't add it to the counter. That was a room
Yeah,
full of
it-
enemies.
Yeah, it'd be what Heaven
Right.
on a High called the Quivering Copper.
Right. Pretty much life suing. So that was one game I kind of thought about. It'd basically be about 13 levels, which is a good amount of time for a basic indie game. Just a straightforward narrative, no real branching paths. The main branching path that you could take would be right at the start of the game. I was figuring there was a little sidestep that if you had played the game through, you could then use that to skip the tutorial section.
Okay.
Get those slime moving fast. I just don't turn into a frog.
So it'd be kind of a New Game Plus situation, where you'd effectively... Ooh! Let me set up here. Raging!
Exits this direction.
Coming! Where you could effectively skip the tutorial section and possibly start with more weaponry in your armory. Is the basic idea. Nothing really too fancy. The other one would be a little more interesting. Turns out after Rindas and I did a little... Sorry, Doodles. We're talking about games and possible developments and wish lists.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, since Rye and I... Oh, I've got 6 seconds on Rage. Why don't I refresh that? And Icy Horde is a different game is come out that kind of uses the same kind of philosophy, where it was kind of this cross between a third-person adventure game. Hello, Luring. and a magical dress-up girls game. Because you could effectively get different costumes and mix and match them. And how you mix and match your outfits depends on what your toolkit is.
What's the game you're thinking of that kind of does that?
Magical Nikki.
Huh.
Another rage. Go get yourself set up.
I got some guy here. I'll just smack him. Ow! Explosion!
Your secret is you're always angry.
Add it to the count.
And they're actually coming out with a new Magical Nikki game.
Don't really know that one.
It's a property from Japan that didn't
It
really
happened
make
to be.
waves over here.
Be part of the problem.
The big difference is that it wouldn't have this interchangeable what piece you're wearing affects what's on your item list as much as where's the exit? There's the exit. She changes complete outfits.
Right.
Next time.
But it's kind of a similar premise. Once we're done here, I can actually show you the trailer to the new Nikki.
Right. There.
But those were the two basically feed ideas I was kind of thinking of. But it's definitely going to take more than just me because I'm an artist, not a programmer.
Yeah, and
I can program Hello World and yeah, I'm not a very good programmer. It also doesn't help that every time I do programming, Baron asks me to stop because I become really, really, really angry.
Another rage.
Let me get to the
why I
next
don't
room.
do more programming.
Raging! So this room does not look like it goes through.
Nope.
Ribbit.
Oh no, I've been poisoned.
Ribbit.
Keep an eye on my health. Oh dear,
Ribbit.
did you get toaded?
Ribbit.
Yes.
But I didn't know if those would be games that anyone was like interested in or not, just by the premise.
Yeah, I really need to poke at Unreal 5 again. Yeah. Thing is if I was to ever get seriously into it, I'd need to upgrade my computer.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've tried to play games that I'm pretty sure are built on Unreal 5. They do not like this computer.
A lot of it actually probably comes down to the GPU.
That's pretty much what I'm figuring.
We have Horde Sign and a room full of mimics.
Of course.
So, Ari, do we dare ask what happens? Ribbit.
Another toad trap.
And I have a mimic after me. Quick copper style mimic, but it's this guy. Okay, another one over there. And now I have them.
Infatuation used. Can't use the next one. Nope.
I hate you.
Yeah, I'll suck it for now. After all, I am a warrior.
Yep. There's the exit. Exit open. Let's just see what's in here. Intuition. That. Of course, we only have one more floor.
Yeah.
50-50, yes, no.
Nope.
Nope.
Good luck.
An incoming Deloso.
Oh,
Why can't it give us this luck later in the game? Or area? It's like, why can't we have
Exit
10
here.
rages at the 180s?
do keep an eye on my health since I've been
Hey
popped.
guys.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys have fun there.
Plus...
I should keep you going, I bet. Okay, exit just opened. Ow.
Did you
What
hit
was the
an
trap?
explosion trap?
I sure did.
Right as the sight comes up.
Steel.
Of course. Steel will have to wait for 15 seconds.
Fair enough.
I'm not hitting the toad trap. Actually, I probably could. No, I'm not hitting the toad trap.
You'll do that.
Serenity. A little late.
Yes.
Coming in.
Don't forget steel. And you probably want to box yourself.
Steel.
Because I don't think you want to face the boss like that.
Yeah, because there's one game that I've actually run into. It's basically a dragon riding combat game. It stutters too much on my computer for me to play it well, and I'm reasonably sure it's built on Unreal 5. On your
Yeah,
go.
a lot of Unreal depends on not necessarily the engine, but also what effects they're using with it.
This game seems like it's a lot of fun, but it's just certain parts I just can't work with.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Especially since it's supposed to be a multiplayer game.
Oh.
Hornets up.
Hornets down. Yeah, the only other problem I had is I'm pretty sure it was built with a controller in mind. Because the way I was playing with it, I was kind of like, this would be better played with a controller.
Yeah, there's a lot of games like that.
The Souls series is a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe some people can play that with just the weirdest controllers.
Coyote, are you thinking of the board game? Because, yeah, when Trey was describing the writing on dragons and everything, I was going, the TSR's Big Box Dragonlance board game, which, you know, was obviously meant more for like a family player gaming thing, and was actually reasonably good.
Hey, just as a reminder, always double check that Rye is faced into an area before clicking on the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, it should just kind of bitch at you and not let you do it, but do we want to take that chance?
Yeah, your point.
Sight!
I don't know the computer one.
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with it.
TSR did 2 big box games, basically imitating the mid-80s Game Master line, because the boxes were exactly the same size. One of them was Buck Rogers.
I remember that.
And it was good. It had some really neat features to it. They actually did the entire inner solar system on an order. So each turn, the planets move around the sun, and how hard and easy it is to get from one planet to another changes because of that. And then the other one was Dragonlance, where, you know, like, each player has just a number of dragons. You use a factory type of ship to do altitude, fly around, fight each other, and try and get the lance at the top of this tower in the center of the board. Reasonably fun. Dullahan?
One I remember was the 8th of Ace's Dragon Riders of Pern version.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that one. I only got to try out once. Those of you not in the know, which is sadly going to be way too many days. Ace of Aces came out around 1980. It is a World War I. There is a Dullahan behind me.
So there is. Hello, Mr. Dullahan.
Came out around 1980, and it's a World War I dogfighting.
Interesting.
The set was 2 books, and you basically take one and hand the other to your opponent. Both of you basically are on the same page, and what's on the page is the view from your cockpit at the enemy fighter. And along the bottom of the page are a diagram, is this line of diagrams of various maneuvers your plane can do. Ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit,
There's
ribbit,
the
ribbit,
exit,
ribbit,
and
ribbit,
there's
ribbit.
the board.
You realize we've now had more toad traps than mimics.
I think I'm just as happy. It's not easy being mimic. So, you know, at the bottom is the list of all the little maneuvers done by the diagram. And underneath each one of those is a page number. And you basically trade page numbers with each other, go to where that is, check your maneuver again, and you both check the page number that leads to, and you both end up on the same page again, with both of you having moved to your new positions from your maneuvers. Very simple, very quick, very fast to play, very convenient, a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. And
the nice
those
thing-
books had been tested within an inch of their life.
Yeah, the only time I know of any typos getting into those page numbers, which would be absolutely bad, is the Flying Buffalo reprint from about a decade ago. They screwed up one page. And it had no numbers. One of the neat things is, of course, they could do different types of planes in the same system, no problem. It's just they gave a different list of maneuvers, and all of them don't work with each other. So, you know, I can play the German Powerhouse Late War fighter book against the Allied Rotary Engine book. So it was very successful for them with good reason. They did a World War II version, they did a modern jet fighter version, and then they also did the Dragon Raiders of Fern.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit different because what you're really doing is you're kind of competing with the other guy to take care of Threadfall.
Yeah, wasn't there actually a Zeppelin versus Zeppelin version
No.
that someone did as a joke?
No. There was Balloon Buster, which was one of the original planned ones, and they did do it. I've seen it a couple of times. I don't have it. Where for one player, you are a fighter trying to shoot down one of the observation balloons, basically, and the other player is in charge of an anti-aircraft gun trying to shoot him down before he can do it.
I can have that one.
Rise, drink yourself.
Done. Yeah, for the original World War I set, they did 4 out of the 5 they originally offered. The original was the rotary set, all the rotary engine aircraft, good maneuverability, really good if you're turning right.
Oh, hello, Rye.
Oh, okay, yep, I'll stand watch. The second one was Powerhouse, which is the late war stuff. You know, really good maneuvering and in power.
Exit here.
Had Hurley Craft, which has like 2/3 of the maneuvers of the others. Ooh.
Oh, no knockback! Dang it!
Uh-oh.
Didn't even catch that.
One down. And then they did Balloon Buster. In the original release, they were talking about one where you'd basically have a like ground map, and you'd have to basically plot a mission to go like observe what's going on in the enemy trenches, go there, and then fly back and possibly encounter enemies, which someone fighters on the way. They did a couple of other games related to the idea.
Incoming Minotaurs, 2 of them. Trying to separate them out.
Armed and powered is only Minotaurs can be armed and powered.
Pretty much.
11 tons swing or not. And here comes contestant number 2. They had a very short-lived, gunfight version. Incoming Minotaur.
And that looks to be a 4-corner room.
Yep. Yes. What's Gunfight 1 was an interesting idea, because they were basically adding in things, spotting each other, and so on. The problem is that kind of took up enough overhead that it was a very limited set. Basically, it was called Shootout at the old saloon, and basically there was a saloon with a number of locations you or the other guy could be standing in. And, you know, you move from location to location, and you can basically cross-check to see if you can see each other. One person does not see the other, not vice versa. Like you're facing away from him. But with just one building to face around it.
Oh, that would have been dangerous. A toad trap in the middle of the room.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
The thing that always gets me is their direct competitor, which was kind of the same idea, except it was applied to a man versus man fantasy
That's
thing.
not a competitor. That's all the same designers and company.
That still exists in Japan as a series of pseudo.
We'll let me get into that in a minute.
Okay, I'll let you get. But it's just
Because the Western Gunfight one came first, and like I said, there's an interesting idea, but it's so limited because all you can do is pace around one building. They had hooks for further sets. There's going to be a jail and a fort and so on, and it never happened because the first one was not working. The next one they did was very popular. It was called Lost Worlds. You had these two little thin books. And it was basically man-to-man fighting. You know, the basic two were like, you know, man with sword and shield and skeleton.
of which, little side notes, you could actually get miniatures for all of those.
Yeah.
So you can use the books to do the battle, but then stage it out as miniatures.
Yeah. And the thing is, what you do is you only get one book instead of a pair like you do. But then, you know, your opponent would need to have another book. And there's the book, which showed what you were doing. And then there's the maneuver card. And basically, you would keep the maneuver card and hand the book to your opponent. Look at the maneuver card, decide what you're doing, you know, strong attack on the left, something like that, you know. And tell him the page number, and he will get the book and see you doing it. While you try to decide what your counter would be. Look up something on your maneuver card, and so on. There was a whole bunch of things. Some of them got a little astray, like the cross string. And then, you know, Nova kind of went under. The series kind of faded away. Flying Buffalo got the rights before they had the cable. But in the meantime, a Japanese company also got the rights and did a bunch of, you know, more medieval combat dueling books, except they were kind of soft porn.
Exits open.
Yes, yes. Effectively,
Because
while you were fighting, you slowly...
occasionally the girls' clothes could get knocked off.
Yeah, and these were all
I didn't see
waifus,
that one.
affectionately.
Of course.
Now, the name of this, for those who know your anime, was Queen's Blade. If you know of that series, which came out, what, about a decade ago now?
Yeah.
That was originally soft porn fighting fantasy books, effectively. Fighting fantasy being the actual name of a completely different series, but style of genre. I was very surprised when I found that out somewhat after the fact. Almost as surprised as when Sponge watched the entire first.
Yeah. Was, different.
Thanks, Japan. Didn't see that one coming.
What's
It was a
worse is
series
that
full
there's
of that.
actually an MMO based off of it,
Oh, geez.
which
Oh,
which is
dear.
actually somewhat sci-fi based.
Yeah, sure, why not?
It was like,
It was fair.
sci-fi mecha, but everyone came for the bouncing girls.
Well,
Right.
yeah. Did the DVD come with a digital counter?
It probably should have.
Yeah, it definitely should have.
This is what's really stupid about the MMO is, of course, you had to be 18 or over to play.
Of course.
It was technically supposed to be this big, heavy combat, girls in bodysuits inside a giant robot.
Nah.
Everyone got the skimpiest bodysuit they could have and just hung out at the disco in game.
Fair enough.
And of course, chat. You know how the chat would go. What, we don't need to
Considering
say
the
more.
genesis of all this, I think this is a perfectly logical conclusion to the entire thing.
What was that?
But anyway, because Flying Buffalo did have the rights, while Flying Buffalo is kind of gone, the person who was the company passed away a few years ago, Rick Lewis. I'm still sad about that. And
Yeah.
the company has been kind of sold off to a holding company that, talks a big game, and I'm going, I have heard these promises before, you're never going to do that. But because they're not that long gone and everything, if you hunt around, you should be able to get some Lost World
Feeling.
still. And maybe even find the Flying Buffalo versions of Ace of Aces, though. It sounds like those sold out pretty quickly.
eBay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Since the originals are, from the 80s,
Yeah,
I don't think there were enough Flying Buffalo copies of the Ace of Aces books to really move the needle in the long run. Lost World, the man-to-man fighting stuff, that should be more reasonably available at least for some of the books.
Yeah, didn't you actually have an early printing of Ace of Aces from the original
still do.
publisher?
Plus.
I have the Rotary set and the Powerhouse set. Powerhouse would be first printed. Rotary would be second. The initial release was a little bit primitive. It was basically 2 books and a back. And I have the one that came with a proper box set.
Yeah, because I
Yes,
remember
I still
playing
have
your
them.
copy in high school.
I still have them. They're still in good shape. They still work.
50-50.
Still runs on modern equipment.
And there it is.
Heavy steel.
Okay, make sure I press the right one this time.
And now to go kill things.
Ribbit.
Grab it.
Good gerb.
Tooting so you don't have to.
I like this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never had any of the Lost World. They were mid-80s, and I just didn't have them. You didn't get the new copies. I do have Bounty Hunter. Because that we got a reasonable copy of.
Okay, time to head to the exit. And I went the wrong way like a dope.
Yep.
Might as well just clear out the floor at this rate.
Kill them all, let the server sort them out.
Dang straight.
And I will also say on Ace of Aces, I much prefer any, bug fight game. Because of course all of those, they expect you to learn how to fly a plane first. Ace of Aces, you can just jump right in. They say,
NA.
no, you're a pilot, you know, uh-oh. Oh,
Yeah. Bouncing Betty.
I thought I heard Mimic. But
Had to
Ace of
look.
Aces, you're a pilot, you already know how to fly a plane, it's just pick your maneuver and go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, Battle Axe.
Yeah, generally true, but then you can't make the Odd Family jokes with those.
I love the Odd Family.
That's not quite the right title. I can't think of what the correct title is.
Remember, try and keep the things to the outside. We need to run into the center.
And into the center.
Center! Woo, that was close, Rye. I saw what happened
There's
there.
a reason why I hit sprint for that.
That was the wise maneuver.
No, all good.
Excuse me.
I was going to beat that away from you as soon as I finished my current cycle. In.
Never got chance. Remember when that used to be the graphics card killer?
Yes. I
For
remember
the first
all
few
too
years, we had
well.
to give up on Palace of the Dead because we'd run across that boss and he would instantly blue screen my machine.
Well, not blue screen, but you'd crash and end up exiting. And the one time where you managed to get back in time was the time where it hit my machine with that problem. And we managed to kind of trade off and keep it going by, getting knocked offline and getting back in, and then we ran out of time. We hit the hour limit because of all of the shenanigans. Inferno Rapier, Elegant Cane, Mask of Aiming, Grimoire of Casting. That was the good stuff.
Junk and more junk.
Materia 4, Gloves of Casting.
Hey, it's time to hit the sweet shop.
Agreed.
That seems like a sweet idea.
I believe there's two different ones for otters, and I think one of them is gang.
That sounds right.
I don't remember what the other one is. It's a little on the cuter side, but it's still very... Yeah. Yeah, we made actually good timing. We got to, what, floor
130.
130? That's not too shabby.
Yeah, that actually puts us about on schedule. So we made up time.
And just for everyone's edification, here's Board Game Geek page for the main Ace of Aces set, which is the rotary set.
Old gaming year nerds unite!
Darn straight.
And every now and then in the house, we get this long-running discussion on how the board game Nuclear War is actually an educational game.
Yes. Well, at the very least, it had something to say.
Yes, it did. It was very silly, but it was also painfully kind of on mark.
Yeah. And then I just gave the link for the main Board Game Geek page for Lost Worlds, which is apparently as a set of games, since admittedly no one book is a complete game by itself.
Nope, you have to have at least 2.
Yep. But they were, like maybe 6x9 books, probably smaller. I think they were bigger, slightly bigger than digest size, and not very big books. Like 16 pages or so. So I'm sure their overall price was not all that high. But our family was broke in the mid-'80s after the failure of the business.
And of course, for me, that was the time where the family business was going through the start of the 9 years of hell through bankruptcy court.
Yeah.
So being able to purchase any of this was kind of painful.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I do have from that period, and most of it is because of various companies shipping us review copies.
Yeah.
That's where my copies of Ace of Aces come from. That's where Bounty Hunter comes from. That's where my extensive set of mid to late 80s TSR D&D modules comes from.
Yep. Nuclear
living
War,
through
one of the
review
few
copies.
games where 9 times out of 10 the game wins.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, it is
More
way
like
too
50-50, I'd say.
it is way too easy in Nuclear War for you to basically kill everybody, including yourself, off, and then when that happens, the game wins. If you
Well, the
crack
main
the
thing
Earth's
is-
crust, your game wins.
Yeah, that is thankfully rare, but happens often enough. Because, of course, it's a mid-60s game kind of parodying current events. So, each person is supposed to be apparently relatively small country, since everybody has a population in the millions. And, you get dealt this small hand of cards that are population cards that are 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, up to 25 million each. And then you have the main deck of cards that you actually play. And, there's various missiles and then warheads to put on the missiles, propaganda to try and get people to move to your country instead of theirs, and things like that. And the main thing is, you end up with a nuclear war where you're launching missiles at each other, and so on. And the reason why the game does have a tendency to win is this is all done turn by turn, one card at a time, until somebody gets killed off by a nuclear exchange. Then he gets final retaliation, where he takes his entire hand of 9 cards, matches up all the missiles and warheads he can, and does one final strike.
Yeah, the ultimate Hail Mary.
And if that kills someone else, they get to do the same thing.
You can effectively have chain Hail Marys.
Yes. And this being, the 60s and everything, you have like Polaris missiles and Atlas, and the Saturn, which carries the 100 megaton bomb. And you have a random effect spinner for, bomb shelters save 1 million people. Dirty bomb, double the yield. And then there's hit nuclear stockpile, three times the casualties. Well, if you hit that with the 100 megaton bomb, that causes a chain reaction which destroys the Earth. Everyone's lost. Game wins.
Yes. Yes, definitely a mutual destruction game. The other game that I actually have a copy of that does mutually assured
Yes.
destruction is Plague and Pestilence.
Yeah. That's like an early 90s game. Came out apparently in 2 different editions. I forget if you have the first or the second. I think it's the second.
I think I have the second, yeah. It's a
Which
card
is a
game.
shame it deserved wider
Yes.
distribution than it got.
It's a huge deck. It is a monster deck. And the basic idea is that you go through the deck and you're a medieval country and you're building up population, building up population, building up population until somewhere randomly in the deck you hit the Black Ship.
The Plague Ship.
Yes, the Plague Ship
Yeah,
that came to
it's
Europe.
Like you're like a bunch of medieval city-states, really.
And at that point, all the plus population cards become negative population cards.
Yeah. So you see this slow draining away of your population, and instead of the slow building up. And the objective is to be the last one still alive.
And typically there isn't.
That one, not so much. That one does not kill everyone off quite as ruthlessly.
Yes,
Mostly
Battle
because it happens, once, to you on your turn only, mostly.
Yeah. But I do believe the last person standing has to take one last draw.
No, that would do it. Or at least it can.
And to think Battle Axe, they finally, thanks to DNA sequencing and permafrost burials, have figured out the strain of flu that caused the 1910. That's actually a very recent discovery.
Or 1918.
The 1918 influenza. It ended up being a strain of H1N1.
And I don't know if they've figured out anything more, but actually most of the original spread looks like it came out of the Midwest.
It was a combination Midwest and people being deployed from China. And
Not so much that, but there's largely the Midwest because that's where all the U.S. Army training camps were. And it spread through there, and then they got deployed to Europe.
Extra credit or extra history actually had a 5-part series just on the 1918 influenza, and it is even more ugly than you were thinking.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
I highly recommend it.
I'll have to watch that again.
Yeah, it's just wow. There was this actually a case of someone who thought they were trying to do the war the right thing, and he ended up committing suicide because he killed more men than the front did by his actions.
And I believe that is the reason why when the doctor of the base says, "We're quarantining the base," you quarantine
In
the base.
Yes.
It's one of the very few times that the general surgeon can tell a general to fuck off.
Yes.
That's my one F-bomb.
That is your one F-bomb.
Oh,
But it's an important
and-
F-bomb.
Yeah.
We learned a lot of
And as I've
lessons
been-
from that and other things.
Yeah.
Yes, COVID hit us really stupidly hard, harder than it should have, but it could have been far, far worse because there were enough people who jumped on the protocols that were established because of the 1918 and other pandemics that we've had to deal with, including the Black Plague showing up in San Francisco during the 1800s. That's a
Did
fun
not know
one.
about that one.
But yeah, one of the things I've commented over the last couple of years is the fact that part of our problem is we've had 100 years to get out of practice
Yeah.
because we haven't seen anything like this for 100 years.
Yeah, and let's be honest, with this type of thing, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
When. Yep.
Yep. Well, just think of it this way. You have incidents like this going all the way into ancient history,
Mm-hmm.
and when they happen in ancient history, generally it's an end to whatever prosperity and civilizations that gets hit by it.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Mhm.
This time it didn't, and we're trying desperately to keep it that way.
Yes. So all things considered, our record at the moment is actually relatively good.
Let's hope that stays. Knock on
Yes.
plywood. In any case, it is after 11. I'm sure there's a bunny and kitten here that are about ready to fall over.
No, I am too jazzed by geeking out. Darn you.
Yeah, up here it's squirrels. Squirrels and rodents. You have to be careful. In any case, you all have a great evening. Thanks so much for joining us. We will, of course, be back for more Deep Dungeons next Saturday. And tomorrow we are going to be back on the buns as we continue to work our way to Camp Cloudtop. We are in Cloudtop, right?
Yes, we are.
Woohoo! Nice and cold. Bring a jacket.
Yeah, the wind chill is going to be something fierce there.
Well, thank you all very much for joining us. We had fun chatting and delving and all the other great stuff. We will see you tomorrow night starting at 9:30 on the buns.
Yes. Everyone have a great night.
Not everyone.